Dare I review this track? Will it be too much for me to handle? So, unusually for me, I reviewed a song in one of my videos, link in the description. The Beatles, Now and Then. It's a terrible, terrible song for just one reason. It's whiny, sickly sentimental, mawkish, maudlin, grating, cloying, self-indulgent, and truly, truly lamentable. Other than that, I suppose it's not too bad. I'm just saying what I think, and from my YouTube statistics I see that 73.4% of my viewers agree with me. But one of my commenters wants to test my reviewing skills further, or perhaps test my tolerance of modern uptempo hardcore, whatever that is. So he suggests I take a listen to Rayquaza X by Exodia. The internet is surprisingly uninformational on either the track or the band. But I have this.
Exodia formed in 2007, having very clear ideas about what they want to do, thrash metal energetic, but giving a personal touch that makes a clearly recognizable and unique band in the scene. Mixing influences from all kinds of thrash as Megadeth, Testament, Slayer, band that continues growing and not leave anyone indifferent in its path, taking a distinct charisma of other thrash metal bands.
That's from Bandcamp. I think it's the same band. So let's take a listen. Here's my 35-second edit. You can hear the whole track through links in the description. I think I've included all the most significant moments in my edit, and yes, it does end like that.
Look at the picture. Einstein controls the synthetic nerve rate.
So what does my commenter want to get from this exercise? I don't think he really wants me to tell him whether he should like the track or not, or give him musical insights he isn't capable of coming up with himself. No, he's testing me, probably to see if I'm an old fart or not. Okay, as an old fart, the first thing I'm going to do is measure the loudness. Spotify, as we know, likes loudness to be minus 14 LUFS, LUFS, loudness units relative to full scale, and any track that's louder will simply be turned down. If you have volume normalization on, as most people do because it's the default. This track, measured over the duration of my edit, is minus 5. That's crazy loud. And all that happens is that Spotify turns it down by 9 decibels. That's 9 decibels of potential dynamic range wasted. And, as we heard, this track does have dynamics. It's utterly pointless. Master to minus 14 and keep all of your lovely hi-fi sound quality. I've turned it down to minus 16, which is my preferred level for my YouTube videos. Of course, that doesn't put back any of the dynamic range. I just don't want to blast your head off. Did I say hi-fi? Well, I'm fairly sure this track is meant to have a lowish-fi texture. The distortion you're hearing in the bass drum, it isn't your equipment or your ears. It's baked into the track. With modern equipment and software, this doesn't happen by accident, so clearly the producer expected that listeners would have systems of too high a quality, so he put the distortion in right from the start. In terms of sound quality, I think I've said everything I need to say. This is the artist's artistic statement. And because I'd be pretty sure that the artist is also the producer, mix and mastering engineer, you're hearing every decibel, every hertz of what you're meant to hear. When I say artist, maybe Exodia is a band, maybe just one guy, maybe one girl. I don't know, and the internet isn't very forthcoming with information. Now, what about the music? What does an old fart like me have to say? Well, firstly, I see from the artwork that here we have something related to Pokemon. And the internet tells me that a Rayquaza is a dual-type dragon/flying legendary Pokemon. I'm quoting that. I don't understand any of it. Now, seeing as Pokemon, in my limited understanding, has something to do with video games, I hear a chiptune element in this music. These kinds of sounds go back a long way to the late 1970s and 1980s, when digital audio was pretty much in its infancy. Video game makers would use an integrated circuit incorporated into their hardware that was pre-programmed with game sound elements. The tunes were in the chip tune. As an old fart, clearly I'm not going to like this. Hang on. I love the Yellow Magic Orchestra's track Computer Game, based on Firecracker by the exotic Martin Denny. Not such an old fart now. I don't mind a bit of chiptune, but as a novelty, I don't mind it in this track, but I wouldn't want to listen to a whole album myself. Clearly, though, I'm not the target listener, and there are plenty of people who will listen to nothing else, probably. Other than that, I hear male speech. The words are by Francis Edward Deck, D-E-C. Who is speaking them? It could be Deck himself. Clearly, he was a guy who enjoyed a good rant. There's other sampled speech in here, but it seems for texture rather than meaning. What I quite like about this track is that, as I said earlier, it has dynamics, louds and quiets, changes in texture, changes in tempo, and what I really do like is that at 3.5 minutes, it isn't too long. So, all that needs to be done to make a lovely piece of music out of this is go back to the original multi-track, take some of the distortion out of the bass drum, blend it pretty much the same, and then do not master the hell out of it. This track breathes. Why strangle it? I don't think I'll be buying this track. I've listened a few times on Spotify, so the artist has received 0.04 US cents for each of those listens. And a few more when my viewers search the track out. I've had my say, but am I really qualified to comment on this music? Judge for yourself. Here's one of my tracks. You can review it in the comments if you like. See you soon.